Scilla Elworthy, welcome to #Peace Day.
I'm happy to be here.
Could you tell us about yourself and your journey to this point?
Living in South Africa in my 20s, I started a feeding scheme for starving children in the so-called homelands. But then when my daughter was born in 1974, I contracted a brain disease, which put me into a coma. And when I recovered, I found this was an incredibly useful experience because I understood then what it was like to be really handicapped. And that led me on in 1983 to wake up to the fact that nuclear weapons were a major threat to us all. And so I started the Oxford Research Group to do something about that, to begin to set up discussions on disarmament and so on. And then it went on to working with President Gorbachev in Russia, and helping him to get rid of a lot of nuclear weapons. And since then, I started Peace Direct, which has now, for more than 20 years, equipped ordinary grassroots peace builders with the tools they need to stop armed conflict.
You've had an incredible life, nominated a couple of times now for the Nobel Peace Prize, incredible, and many other awards through your career. And thank you for all of the support that you've given myself and Peace One Day. We've known each other a long time now, I'm pleased to say. And it's 2025. There's more wars raging now than there's ever been since the Second World War. A terribly sad situation, very frightening for us all. What can individuals do right now, Scilla? If we're at home feeling that despair, what would your recommendation be for people?
Well, it's easy to become depressed or scared, and we need to be aware of the incredible things that are being done today to stop war. Just one example. At the moment, I'm in the midst of compiling for the World Women's Summit next March stories of how women have stopped armed conflict, have actually stopped wars. And I've found so far examples from Kenya, Northern Ireland, the Philippines, Liberia, Colombia, and our own UK. And I can give you, if you've got time, just one example from Liberia, where the women got so fed up with male leaders not concluding a peace deal after weeks of negotiating and muddling along, that they surrounded the building and wouldn't let any of the men out of the building. And they kept the building locked with the guards for more than 12 hours, and then a deal was reached. So these stories are really inspiring a generation of women now to think, what can we do instead of feeling like victims, basically?
Very, very interesting. And I mean, of course, there is lots of data about how women being involved in peace negotiations over the years lead to being much more successful.
Yes, true.
And perhaps we'll have a woman as Secretary General of the United Nations soon, I hope.
Wouldn't that be great?
I think that's probably likely, isn't it? Soon. Let's see. Okay, so moving on to something that's obviously been horrifying us all now for a few years, the situation in Gaza. These innocent people, suffering, being killed. I mean, none of us can look at this and make sense of human behaviour at this point. I want to know what advice could you give us? I mean, how when we look at this, how do we cope? How can we help? What can we do?
Well, the first thing I think is to deal with our own fear, because as long as we're working or living from fear and anxiety, it hampers what we're able to contribute to the world. So the first thing I would suggest to people to do is to look at your fear, take it out of the box, as it were, face it, and allow yourself to go right into the depth of it, and then you'll come out the other side. And when you come out the other side of fear, you feel what you can do. And your mind and your brain and your heart, most of all, begin to really function well and let you know what's needed, what's within your possibility. But the very first thing to do is acknowledge and face your fear.
That's quite a tricky thing to do, isn't it? I mean, that's difficult stuff, but we can do it. Is there any resources? Is there anything that we can read? I mean, is there anything that, what can support us to be able to face that for those who are like, I don't know how to face my fear?
Oh, there's many books on fear, but the simple thing to do, Jeremy, is just to go quiet, close your eyes and put your hands on your heart. Cross your hands like I'm doing now, on your heart, and feel your heart. Feel it beating so strongly. It keeps on doing that all day, all night, keeping you alive. And your heart is the fount of knowledge for your life and for other people's lives as well. So when you really, instead of worrying in your heart and thinking, oh, I can't do anything to help, I'm so anxious, to just allow your heart to inform you, and you'll be amazed what it will say. I've got all my best ideas that I've had in my life, all the best actions I've taken have been suggested by my heart.
Amazing. Well, thank you. And you can actually look at Scilla's work and find out more information about the mighty heart, in fact. And perhaps you can tell us how we can do that. Before we move on, actually, could you tell us, how can we find out more information about the work that you do around this issue?
Well, there's lots of websites. We've got the Mighty Heart website, and that's where people can learn about an 8-week course, 2 hours a week, where you develop the power of your heart to help you in situations exactly like this. So situations that frighten you, whether they're at your child's school, whatever it is, this course, which I've designed 4 or 5 years ago, and it's been so popular that we're still running it all the time. And we've delivered it to big companies, we've delivered it to police forces, we've delivered it to school children as well in adapted form. So that's what I would recommend as I think it's the fruit of all that I've learned I've been doing this for 60 years now.
Well, amazing. I'm glad that I didn't know we were going to talk about that, actually. And I'm really pleased that we have, because that is actually something that people can find out about and have an opportunity to do something. So I hope they do.
Other ways people can take action. There are lots of organizations they can join. Peace Direct is one that I started 30 years ago. You can join the community peacemaker teams. You can join the Institute for Economics and Peace. You can go with the International Peace Bureau and see what they're doing. The Nonviolent Peace Force, the International Physicians for the Prevention of Nuclear War, if you're a medic. And if you're female, join the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. They're great.
If ever there was a top recommendation, listen to Scilla Elworthy, because there's nobody knows as much about this issue as you do, Scilla. And so thank you for that. And I'm sure the audience would be delighted to hear. Okay, you've been a great supporter of Peace One Day, and particularly Peace Day, right? We've done lots of work together for Peace Day. Why is Peace Day important?
I don't know of any other day in the year that really invites us all to pay attention to wars that are going on out there, not just, turn away, but also to think what things we can do. And Peace Day is always in your shepherding of it, a gentle, kind way of facing up to what's going on in the world. And we need to do that. We can't just close our eyes. So through you, I know many people who've been encouraged to join different organizations, to take action, to contribute wherever they can to help the orphans created by wars. And so once one is able to do something practical, you feel better. And that can often lead you into a course of action, which may be even more up your street. It may be even more fascinating for you. Take up your time and your skills and suggest things that you can read that really make you more and more useful. 6 years ago, I wrote a book it really offering people these skills, and it's just sort of how to make yourself stronger when you're faced by issues that are so big they seem impossible.
What was the name of that book?
The Mighty Heart is the name of the book. Mighty Heart in Action is the second one. And you can also look at my various websites, ScillaElworthy.com and so on. Got loads of suggestions on those websites.
I'm really pleased that we spoke today, Scilla, because, listen, we're all struggling trying to make sense of this. I am, others are, we all are. We're all looking out into the world and finding it really difficult to, kind of stay positive and committed. But we do it. And your words and your resources, I really urge people to go to ScillaElworthy.com and find out more, because I know how wonderfully well you support people all over the world. It's incredible. Thank you for today. Have a wonderful Peace Day. Good luck with everything that you're doing, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Bye-bye, Jeremy. Thank you.